Well, hey guys, it's me, Mark Resurrectus. CCB Overload
Muterator got
muted, currently muted, but we are here getting ready to kick things off. I'll pass it back to you, CCB Overload. What a pleasure to see you. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm just going to start again and pretend it didn't happen. 1 second. Cut. Hello and welcome to the arena. I am CCP Overload, joined by the gallant and the incredible Mark Resurrectus. Mark, how are you today for this exciting match between Fancypants and Center for Advanced Suffering?
We're in the home stretch now, CCP Overload. I'm just going to call you Overload. But I'm stoked. As they alluded to earlier, Fancypants have brought a Megathron, so they must have a wormhole that needs rolling somewhere. But very excited. We have not seen a Megathron so far.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they fit it. Are they going to kite around with it? Are they going to just brawl in and blast? I mean, the fact that they have stuff sitting at 0 implies it is a Blaster Megathron. And sure enough, they are approaching and pressing F1.
Oh, yeah. No, they're coming in with some heat. The Vengeance burning up the side. The Draugr burning up the other side. Looks like they're going to try and pull around. Except that Draugr now pulling back just a little bit. You think here that they want to get some control, but the Draugr is taking a bit of heat. And that Exec getting it absolutely ass blasted currently into hull, taking a lot of damage right now from the team from Calcif.
Yeah, he's sitting right at the back, and it doesn't help him whatsoever as he's just been dunked upon. Honestly, the blasters are just not really applying to anything right now. They're choosing to shoot a hyena, which is questionable with large blasters, and an augurer. But I mean, compared to the speed that Executor went down, that augurer is just basically cruising around just fine right now. This is starting to snowball pretty quickly in the favor of Tempest Calcif.
Yeah, it's really hard to when you're in these fast blaster comps, you have to, and Ashley alluded to this earlier. You spend so much time burning in towards your opponent that they have a lot of free time to take shots at you. That's what happened to the Exec. That's what happened just now, and now it's what happening again to the Og Navy when they're already on top of them. I mean, you have to control that range. You have to be able to control right on top, and if you can't, then you're going to get played the entire time.
Yeah, and important to note, the Hyena, super useful ship right now for this team here, the Center for Advanced Suffering. They have an Abaddon, which is great projection. They have a Harby Navy, which is great projection. And with that Hyena, they can just web paint stuff down at range. They came in at a reasonable range, and we saw that Executor get webbed right from the start and just allowed the application to be applied to it before he could get away. Og Navy down now as well.
Yeah, you can see it exactly with that Og Navy dying. The Hyena just had a whole place long enough. The Abaddon was basically sitting at him at 0 with guns full into his side. There aren't too many ships that can take that kind of punishment, and especially not an Og Navy.
Yeah, the one problem with blaster rush comps is you have to be at 0 to basically make them work, and if you can't get to 0, then they just won't work. You'll just sit there with your dick in your hand looking like a complete lemon, and that's pretty much what happened to Fancypants here. They need to zip up that fly.
Yeah. The Calcif Pontifex does go down, but I think it's going to be, you're trading that for a Merm Navy. That's a trade anybody will take. This one is well in hand. The Mega now will be the primary, held down by the Hyena, getting full broadsided by the Abaddon. It's got guns coming in now from the Harby Navy, which is reapproaching from the side. This one was very well played. Again, blaster comps are dangerous. You alluded to this just a few minutes ago. If you get caught in a blaster comp, it is hard to deal with that much incoming DPS. But they positioned themselves well. They got themselves in a good spot with their screening, and they were able to mitigate a lot of that incoming damage.
Yeah, it looks like this is pretty much the end of the road for Fancypants, as unless I'm mistaken, this is a win and in, lose and out match for them. So they will be leaving with, as Jintan says, a firm pat on the butt. And Center for Advanced Suffering will be going forward into the main tournament in March. Just that Megathron left of 2 cents to be taken down. Very comfortable win there for Center for Advanced Suffering.
Yeah, I like the Megathon on its own and under different circumstances. Seen Megas, Vindicators, similar types of blaster heavy comps used well in other formats. But again, this is just one of those you run into it, and I don't even think this is the wrong comp for them to run into. I don't necessarily think this is like the hard counter. They just Tempest Calcif just played it well. Again, they spaced well. And yeah, they cleared this one up pretty well.
Yeah, I know I said it first because CASF is their ticker, and that looks like Calcif. But in fact, they are Center for Advanced Suffering, and I believe they do have nothing to do
Oh,
whatsoever
Jesus.
with Tempest Calcif.
You are correct.
So yeah, I mean, I started this. This is my fault. So let's hand this back to Bart in the booth.